Will Cam prove his doubters wrong next season?
I mean, it doesn't matter if he proves his doubters wrong. I mean, because he's always going to have doubters. And that's just what it comes down to. No matter what Cam does, Cam has been one of those polarizing figures that people love to doubt him. People love to criticize him. People love to have something to say about him, probably because they could never be Cam. I mean, when you look at him, he's a good-looking dude. He handles himself well. Has he had a few checkered moments? Sure he has. Who hasn't? I just look at this video, and I look at the topic and the subject line, and it's kind of like the same exact thing. It's a misunderstood situation. What will Cam be next year? If he gets on the team, Cam will be a positive contributor and leader to the team. When I look at that video, it goes viral. I saw how many people were upset about it, and the kid is this, and why did Cam respond that way? Well, let me tell you something. If you are around these millennials, and I mean the super generation X, Y, and Z millennials, they different. These babies different. They just come from a different way. They handle things differently. So if that shocked you and that scared you, it's because you're not around these babies enough. Cam is around these kids all the time, all right? I'm a high school football coach. I do 7-on-7s. I do camps. I do youth camps. I'm around these kids. We're around each other all the time. I get into a debate discussion with dudes like this all the time, where you will look at the tone of it and the expectation of what you think a young man should treat in reverence of an adult, and you'll be mortified what you thought you saw, the content and the context of it. But the intent, if you're not there, if you're not around these kids, if you don't understand who they are and where they come from and how they communicate, which Cam does an excellent job of being able to relate and be around these young men and impact them in a way because he's able to be with them, not somebody that's on the television that is untouchable. So when I saw that, and I thought to myself, man, so many people were upset with the kid. So many people were upset with the way Cam responded. No, it's the intent. They were interacting. That was an interaction. Did it get caught up and blown up and put on social media? That's what everything does. That little kid probably looked at that joint and was like, man, like I went viral off of talking trash with Cam Newton. That was it. Not I disrespected Cam Newton. Not I told Cam Newton he wouldn't be anything and he ain't this and he's a free agent this and he's a... It's the culture of what these camps and these 7-on-7s have become. And if you don't understand the content and the culture of it, you should probably reserve your opinions until you hear a response from Cam Newton. Like him saying where your daddy is, he's sunning him. Him saying he's a free agent, it's his response. It's the same exact approach to looking at Cam's career. He will always be a misunderstood figure, but yet a positive figure to those who are close to him.
Chris, I'll let you go next because I disagree vehemently with LaVar. So
I like that.
I'll let you go first.
Now, LaVar, you've gone all kumbaya on us now. I mean, look, I get it. These millennials are different. That was disrespectful. And when I think Cam didn't expect, like the kids obviously calling him out, and he didn't just say, you're going to be a free agent. He was saying I don't even know if I can say it on TV, but he was calling him out, saying basically you can't play no more. Your game is weak. And I think Cam, in stepping to him, figured the kid's going to lighten up. I'm just playing, because you step to a kid like that, you a superstar, and you think he's going to give you the respect you deserve at your own camp, no less. And I thought Cam, look, nobody liked hearing Cam say, I'm rich. All right. You don't have to put him in his place like that. But overall, I think Cam handled it well. And I think when Cam was saying, where's your father? He wanted to address the father, like with strength. Like, I think, because I would have been in that situation, I would have done it. I wouldn't know, you don't want to, he's not going to say anything negative to the 15-year-old kid, but I bet you if his dad was there, he would have been like, yo, control your boy. All right, I'm trying to help. I'm opening up this camp to these kids to help them. And he's coming in here disrespecting me like this? You better handle this.
You can't.
And so I'm not giving this kid a pass. Look, he's 15. Yeah. He can obviously learn from it, move on. It's not the end of the world. But to show that type of disrespect to a professional athlete at his camp, it just shows me if the kid, to your point, LaVar, is sitting there like, yo, I went viral, and not thinking, man, I disrespected Cam Newton, this great black athlete, then that's a problem too. He should be looking at it like, you know what, that wasn't cool. And his coach saw it in the video that Cam posted later, and it was just unfortunate. I thought Cam handled it well for the most part. Can I answer your question, though, J-Mac, about Cam proving his doubters wrong next year? Unfortunately, I don't think he will.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he'll get the chance. I mean, where is he going and being handed the starting job?
Yeah, he's probably going to have to be a backup. Yeah.
New England.
I don't think
I thought this year Cam was going to go to New England, lead them to the playoffs, and either have a long-term, a few years with New England, or set himself up to get signed elsewhere. Because Belichick and McDaniels, what they do is they put their quarterback in the best position to make him succeed with his strengths and skills. Yeah. They tried to do it for Cam, and you saw Cam I think he's just taking too many hits, guys. He's carried the ball over 1,000 times. No other quarterback's ever done that. And we know they let the defensive players hit him like he was a fullback. And so I think that it's just taking its toll on Cam. He's not going to be any more motivated this offseason than he was last offseason. He's not going to be able to work any harder this offseason than he did last offseason. We remember the videos. He looked great. He was working out. He was talking about, I'm about to roar. There's only one animal in the jungle, and I'm about to blank roar. I mean, he was ready. Yeah. And we saw what happened. So I just think, unfortunately, Cam's time as a star has passed, even as a starter maybe has passed. He probably can go somewhere, be a backup. I think he can be an asset in a locker room. Guys like him. He can help his starter out. But I think that's the next step for Cam Newton's career.
So I agree with all that. Cam will be a backup somewhere next season. But LaVar, about the kid's moment, and, yes, it was disrespectful. But LaVar, here's my thing, okay? This kid had an opportunity to be around a great quarterback, a guy who won a national championship at Auburn, who was a #1 pick in the draft, okay? Gets the MVP award in the NFL, okay? It takes his team to the Super Bowl. If you have an opportunity to be around somebody of that caliber, you should be using it as a teachable moment. What can I learn from this guy? I would talk less and I would listen a lot because I could probably learn something, maybe ask some questions. But instead, he chose to try to go viral, okay? LaVar, you have a lot of kids you coach. Mm-hmm. If they're coming at you and, challenging you, do you really think those are the kids that are going places? Or are they going to be like the young athletes who have a moment to be around a guy who was a star at Penn State, who was in the NFL, made a lot of money, and learn from them? I mean, I've been at Fox probably 4.5 years now. Every time I'm around Joe Buck, Colin Cowherd, Carissa Thompson, any of the big stars at this network, I'm a sponge. I'm trying to learn. Chris Broussard, when he's out here in L.A., I'm just learning from him. I'm asking him questions. How do you become a pro in TV? I don't know what this kid's thinking. And I think LaVar asking to talk to his dad was going to be like, yo, you should be ringing this kid's ear and apologizing to me. Because every time I toilet papered a house when I was a young kid and my parents found out about it, I had to go and apologize to the parents, and I had to write a letter. And, I know the millennials are different, LaVar, but come on, man. This is not how young kids should be acting around guys who they could learn a lot from.
Again, and I didn't know if you were going to respond to if he's going to be an impact next year, if you wanted to take that before I jumped in on it.
He's a backup, but I like this angle more. I like this angle.
All right, well, when I look at that video, again, you got to take this into considerations. I've run a ton of camps, run a ton of youth-driven events. If that kid's disrespect was real, Cam wouldn't have been asking, where's your dad? Where's your dad? They would have found his parents. He would have been walked off the field. If it was a real conflict that was taking place, where it was this kid is really challenging me on some physical type action, and the disrespect is to the point of where we need to take this kid off the field and we need to find his parents. That's not what Cam was doing in that moment. Cam was engaging trash talk just like the young kid was. And listen, I get it. Respect your black star quarterback Broussard. I love when you have those angles because it's unique. I love J-Mac, you saying, oh, he won the Heisman. He was a top draft pick. He was in the Super Bowl. That's wonderful. But people value things differently, and people express and show their value and the way they feel about things differently. His way of expressing or having an opportunity to exchange with Cam Newton was through trash talk. All right. Now, you guys may find that difficult and hard to understand and hard to believe, culturally speaking. There was a moment in time where people used the N-word and people got uncomfortable with it. And wait, they're still uncomfortable with it. And so in thinking of how people communicate and do things and the evolution of how people communicate and exchange feelings and exchange emotions. And 7-on-7, I have seen some things where I'm like, how is this not an all-out brawl? How is this not an all-out fight? How are they not? Wait, hold on. What did he just do? That's so disrespectful. He should be kicked out of the game. That culture, which Cam Newton helped to build, by the way, mind you, has been a very, very intricate part in how big 7-on-7 and club culture has become in football because of all of the things that he has contributed in that category. That is a part of the environment that they're in. So in that one instance where that video goes viral and people are exposed to it and they see it, I think it's poor judgment. I think it's horrible. It's a horrible approach to put that much weight on that child and to sit there and actually judge Cam Newton and say he handled it well or it wasn't anything to really handle well. That's how they exchange. That's how they communicate. That's how the culture, and whether you like it or not, that's that young culture and how they communicate. And sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable for us as older people who are a little bit more removed from how that culture works. But to go overboard or to get to blow this as far out of proportion as it seemingly has gotten, I just don't buy it. I don't agree with it. And I can understand the old school perspective of what respect looks like, being a sponge, listening, saying less. But that's just not the culture that we live in. You have to take your boat, your hook and your reel to where the fish are if you're going to fish and be successful catching those fish. And that's what Cam Newton does. And y'all captured a moment. It's the intent. It's the intent. Sometimes we see what it is surface-wise, but it's the intent. And I guarantee you, if you were able to talk to Cam and you were able to talk to that kid didn't even think it the way that you guys thought it. That kid didn't put all of that into it the way that you guys put it into it. It's his youth that was showing. It was not wisdom that was showing. It was his youth. And you saw Cam going in and meeting him at his youth, not at his wisdom, not his after, but his during. That's how I look at it.
All right, LaVar, we'll get it started. 10 seconds or less. Which team takes their hook and reels in
New
Cam
England.
Newton? Oh, jeez. All right, Broussard, who you got?
Really? It's hard to say. I mean, to be honest, at this point, I think he'd be a good backup for Lamar Jackson in Baltimore.
Ooh.
Obviously, they have RG3. I don't know what his situation is, but, it would be definitive. It's Lamar's team. He's the starter. I think Cam would support Lamar. I think Cam would be great in that locker room. And if, God forbid, something happened to Lamar, obviously Cam is somewhat of a similar type player. So I like him there.
Okay.
But it's hard to say, man, where he's going to end up. I think if New England has a better option, they're going to try to make it happen. If not, they may go back to Cam.
Cam is backing up Patrick Mahomes next year in Kansas City so he can get the Super Bowl ring.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.